What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Me and You Acres. So, as you can tell from the title of this video, well, it's important to have a carbon monoxide detector. It's something I've wanted to talk about for a bit, and we were both reminded when we were watching Sean from North Shore Preparedness last night in his live, and one of the topics in the chat was all about carbon monoxide detectors. And so we thought with the cooler seasons coming up, we would share with you a story that has actually happened to us and the importance of a digital carbon monoxide detector, a digital read.
Or possibly leaving the windows open just a crack.
Yeah. Does that one hurt when you say that?
just a little bit.
So
she saved our lives.
It's not about that.
She did.
No.
She did though.
But yeah, so before carbon monoxide affected our family, we always used to bicker back and forth about leaving the windows open. I would leave them open and he would go and he would shut them.
That's a typical dad moment. Hey, you're letting all the heat out. I am not paying to heat the outside.
Right. But in the end, it did, from what someone told us, it did end up saving ours and our children's lives. Yeah. So what year was it? It was 2007. Yeah. 2007. So our kids were still little.
Mm-hmm. And we were all going through a bit of sickness here and there. I kept going in to the hospital. They diagnosed me with vertigo a couple times, sent me home with meds, made me worse.
And which put him back in hospital.
Yeah, so I mean, I was going back and forth, constant headaches, lethargy. The kids were in and out of it.
Yeah, they would wake up with flush faces, and they just felt off. And neither one of us clued in to carbon monoxide, like, at all.
No.
And we actually had two, were they budgies?
Yes.
They were two budgies, and one of them died, and the kids were always sick. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't affected at first, but like he said, he ended up going to and from the family doctor, and then he ended up going to the hospital, and by the time he got to the hospital, he felt a little bit better, and they diagnosed him with vertigo, and then the medicine made him sicker. But it was a complete fluke as to how we found out it was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Mm-hmm. We had an older home, and the meter was actually inside in the basement.
For the gas meter.
The gas meter, yeah. And it tended to make a little rumbling noise, like it vibrated a little bit, and you could hear it through the old pipes. Mm-hmm. I was at work, and that was the day that they decided to come out. They were going to move the meter from inside to outside the house.
Well, they weren't going to move it that day. They were coming by because our neighborhood was zoned to be moved. So they were coming by to inspect it. And I was at home and you were at work. And I just happened to ask the gas technician, like, would that gas meter cause our family to be sick? And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, here's all the symptoms. And I told him. And he's like, well, the gas meter shouldn't be making you sick at all. And I told him about how it vibrated and whatever. And so then he pulled out his detector, and right away, he was in one side of the basement, and he picked up carbon monoxide right away. And then it led him to our furnace. And our furnace was the cause of all of the sicknesses that was going on in our house.
Yeah. And I can't remember the exact amounts, but it's something like you're only allowed 10 parts per million, and we were up at like 50,000 parts per million or something.
I don't remember the numbers, but he shut down the furnace right away, red flagged it. We weren't allowed to use it anymore, and we found out later that our exhaust that should be going outside
had golf ball size holes in it.
Fist size
holes.
So the exhaust was coming back through the house and going through the vents. And he told us that the amount that the meter was reading should have killed us. And then I told him how I was like my mama in one sense, and even though I hated it growing up, I always opened my kids' bedroom doors when they like fell asleep, and before I went to bed, I always open their doors, and then I open windows to let fresh air in the middle of winter. And so we used to fight about it, and now we joke about it like, no, it saved our life once. And so
I don't argue about it anymore, do I?
no, you don't. You really, really don't. But he said that's the only thing he could think of as to why we were all alive, and it was our furnace. So this is our what's it called? PSA?
Yes.
PSA 2. First of all, have carbon monoxide detectors. But what we did have one. We did have a carbon monoxide, but it wasn't a digital read.
Yes. And it needs to be, well, we have a few of them now, all the time.
Yes.
But I would suggest putting them nearest any place that would emit the carbon monoxide, so that you can get a true read on how much is being sent off.
At least have one monitor there.
Yeah.
Like, have a few if you can. We always have a digital read, though, because at some points, what the technician told us was that the gas or the carbon monoxide where we had ours, stupidly, now looking back, we were a lot younger then, was near a back door.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have got a strong carbon monoxide read. And
because fresh air is constantly coming in through the back door. It was constantly being opened and closed, and so it would refresh the area, and it would never have a true read.
And not only that, but they're set to go off at a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a slow, steady, increasing amount coming in throughout time. But we just wanted to put that out there. It greatly affected us. I will never forget that feeling. Very emotional, because you never know. And so, long story short, get a digital read carbon monoxide detector if you don't have one. And they expire. So they're only good for, I think it was 8 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you renew it. And daylight saving time is coming up again I think it's in the first week of November. So make sure you change your smoke alarm and your carbon monoxide detector batteries. But yeah, that's all we wanted to come on and tell you for Sunday. We're just doing our laundry.
Yeah, we had to come into town.
Yeah. So we're coming to do our laundry.
Yes.
And
so thank you again for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to us babble on about trying to save everybody's lives with us almost killing ourselves.
You can dress them up, folks, but you can't take them out.
But seriously, take care, everybody. Yes. Have a great long weekend. If you're up this way, and in Canada, it's Thanksgiving weekend, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yep.
If you're in the States or somewhere else, happy early Thanksgiving.
And we're still rambling on. So, on that note,
as always, take care.
And God bless.
Until next time.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.